Morning, guys. Tom here, Anchorage, Alaska. So I wanted to share with you guys a story today that was really cool, and it's a testimony of healing, right? And it happened while I was in prison. So I'm in prison at this time, and I'm really allowing Jesus to work in my life and in my heart. And like I've said before on other videos, I'm going to church and I'm going to Bible studies and I'm attending these programs and I'm really searching the scriptures, right? And so there's this gentleman, one of my really good friends. His name is Ryan. Um, Young cat, real young, real handsome dude. Um, in there, 22 years old, in there on a murder charge, right? And and his parents are pastors and everything. And anyway, he just made some bad decisions, horrible decisions, and he's dealing with those consequences. Anyway, so this gentleman, uh, like I said, real good looking cat, young, and so he gets this like skin infection, like staph or something on his face, and it starts as little things on his face, but then it grows. It starts covering like his whole face, and so he's going to medical, and they were giving him cream, and it's just not working, and it's like making it worse, and so so I felt really bad for this dude at the time because also he was like devastated, man. He was embarrassed, and people kept asking about it, and it was just, um, excuse me, it was making his days sorrowful. Does that make sense? And um, so one night, God speaks to me in a dream. God shows me very clearly in a dream. Like in my dream, I'm having a dream that God is speaking to me, and he gives me these specific healing scriptures. I'm not going to go through all the healing scriptures now, but he gives me specific healing scriptures to write down and to give to this gentleman. And when I wake up, and I'm just like, and it's a very vivid dream when I wake up, and I'm just like, man, are you serious? I'm like, I don't want to be that guy that goes to him and says, hey, you got to pray these things. But so in my dream, very clearly gives me healing scriptures to give to this gentleman and tells him to pray them out loud. Like go in a room, shut the door, and pray these out loud, right? And like I said, the medication that they were giving him was not helping. It was making it worse, right? So I'm like, okay, God, I don't understand it, but I'm going to do what you say. And so it took me, because I'm going to work at this time, and like I said, attending Bible classes, Bible studies, programs, all this. So my days are very busy at the time. So it took me like 2 days to write down all these healing scriptures. And I go to him one day when I'm headed to work, and I say, check this out, Ryan. I know this is going to sound weird, but God spoke to me in a dream. And I tell him about my dream, and I hand him the full, like, it was like a page. It was like 2 pages of front and back of all these healing scriptures. And I told him exactly what he said. I said, go into a room and pray these out loud. Well, his face cleared up in like less than 2 days, right? Almost instantly. And he shared his testimony amongst a bunch of brothers at a future service. I think it was that Friday. We had a more intimate service with this guy, Chaplain Patterson. But it was all the main believers in that facility at the time. And he gets up and he shares his testimony. And he doesn't say who gave him the piece of paper, but I knew. And a couple of my friends knew because I had told him in confidence. I'm like, this is just what happened. I was like, you want to hear something crazy, dude? God spoke to me in a dream and told me specific scriptures to give to this dude. So he gives this testimony, right, in front of all these people, and he's sitting there crying, and I'm sitting there crying because I know he's talking about me. And what he could equivalent it to was, he said when he went in and prayed in the laundry room, funny enough, he said his whole body just felt like a rush of hot flash, and like just like through his whole body just burned, he said. And he was crying and I was crying, and his face healed up in like 2 days. So it's a story of healing. It's a miraculous story of healing and obedience. If God shows you something in a dream and you be obedient to it in the spirit, miraculous things can happen, man. And so it was a very beautiful story. And I woke up today and I thought about that story. So I wanted to share that with you guys today. God can do miraculous things if we listen, if we keep our ears open and be obedient to what he says, no matter how embarrassing, no matter how kind of weird it might be, lean on not on my own understanding, but his. So it's a very beautiful story. I love that story, and it was a testimony of healing for sure in my life, and his, and the lives of those that the story impacted when he gave his testimony up there. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Jesus absolutely saves. He heals. Keep your spiritual eyes and ears open, guys. I love you. Have a great day.